Welcome, everyone. I am Laura DeFranco, the CEO of Brave Healer Productions, where we are waking the world up to what's possible for healing, one brave word at a time. And here to help me do that today is the winner of our very first Brave Healer Productions Badass Writers Contest, Ahriana Platten. Welcome, Ahriana.
Morning.
I am so happy to have you here. I'm so excited that you were our first winner, and I have all kinds of questions for you about the piece and everything, but just introduce yourself a little bit. Tell everyone who you are and what you're up to in the world.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm right at this moment, I'm a little shocked to be here, but thank you for all of this. My name is Ahriana Platten. I am the founder of A Soulful World, which is a global wisdom community offering teachings and tools for transformation. And you can find us online, and our daily objective is to keep people inspired, motivated, and feeling good about life.
Yes, that's a nice objective. I like being a part of your soulful world, and super excited to be one of the instructors there in the classes that we're going to do coming up. Thank you so much for including me in that world of yours. So I wanted to tell everybody the reason why we started a writing contest. And it was because over these last couple of years with publishing our books and all of the things you've seen me do in the writing realm, I kept getting asked, Laura, help me be a better writer. And so there was that piece. I kept getting asked that. I'm like, okay, how do I help people become a better writer? Well, a contest sounds like a cool idea, but the second piece of the motivation was that the contests that I had entered over the years, whether it be for writing or poetry or whatever it was, there was never any contact with the organizers afterwards if you didn't win a prize. And I really felt strongly that our first contest would be about crowning the winners, but also getting back to everybody who submitted and was brave enough to submit, because that takes a little something, and just give them a couple tips, and actually give them writing feedback. So there's the motivation. I wanted to say a quick thank you to our guest judges who helped out for this round. Erica Putnam, thank you so much. Erica is a best-selling author, chiropractor, and yoga expert in Whitefish, Montana. You can find her at The Bend in Whitefish. And Valerie Costa, thank you. Valerie's an editor and founder of Costa Creative Services. And so these ladies came on board and said, yeah, I'll read a few submissions and, check out what you got. So I'm really grateful to them, because I also didn't want it to be just me. I wanted to bring other writers in and have a little bit diversified group of people who were looking at your submission. So Ahriana, you deserved it.
Thank you.
So the theme was new beginnings. And I loved the way you tied in the breath. Was it easy to choose what you were going to write about for this?
So I have to tell you, I really didn't think about it. It was, I sat down and thought, what is the most recent new beginning in my life? And that's what came to me. And so it wasn't challenging to figure out what I was going to write about. It really was kind of reactionary, Laura, to having worked with you over and over for the last couple of years. And the exercises, the prompts that you give, the writing prompts, have really helped me to be able to write in that short form. I think sometimes 500 words is harder than 2,500 words, because how do you say something in a little bitty box?
Yes, ma'am.
What I noticed in writing it was that the writing prompts that you've given us in the past in that short period of time have really helped me. So this is the result of your good work, just by the way.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Of what I've learned.
This is really great feedback for me too. Thank you. I am going to ditto what you said, and this goes for beaches, speaking and talking. You know, we could probably, us master teachers, we could get up on a stage and talk for 45 minutes or an hour about some workshop, and we could teach and do our thing. But if somebody says, I want you to get that down to 5 minutes and get all the impact into a short introductory talk, but still make the same impact, then it's like, oh, that takes some skill. And so does dropping the word count. It's the same thing, right? And you did it so beautifully. I'm not going to give it away because we haven't shared Ahriana's piece yet. That is coming. It's going to be up on the Brave Healer Productions Facebook page, and it's going to be on bravehealer.com when the blog is ready. So yeah, I can't give those pieces away to you guys. So you have to go read it. So how are you feeling? And this is a question, really a personal question, so you can answer it or not, but how are you feeling? How's everything going? Are you feeling healthy and good right now?
I feel healthy and good. And like I said, I'm still shocked about this. This wasn't, for me, it was just like, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do this. Laura's running this contest. I'm going to go ahead and do it and just practice and see what happens in 500 words, see how I can put this together. So I'm still a little stunned that even being here with you this morning, it still feels a little like, really?
That's so funny. You're funny. You're so cool. Okay, you did something in your writing, and oh my gosh, you're going to remember what it was, but I'm blanking right now. You made me smell something very particular. Do you remember what that was?
My husband's beard oil.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
And I hadn't even smelled that before. So I don't actually know what that smells like, but you know what happened? It was Grandpa's Old Spice aftershave that came to my brain when I read that line about the beard oil. And I'm like, ooh, what is happening? You know, but this is what we can do in writing, right? So tell me about that process. Like, were you really thinking about putting the smell in there?
So what I've learned over the last, again, this short couple of months of really concentrating is to first write the basic idea and then go back and check the grammar and do all of that stuff. And then look through what I wrote and ask myself, did I bring people into their senses? Can they feel it? Can they taste it? Can they touch it? Can they smell it? Where are the places where I haven't given them the full expanse of that experience? And that's really how that came, was, these are the things that are triggers for me in this particular blog. These are things that are triggers for me to think about breathing.
Well, Ahriana is really giving you guys one of the biggest secrets to super awesome writing in my book. And that is just, what are you going to make me feel? And I want to wake up in writing. I want authors to wake me up and have me so in their material with those smells and sights and sounds and all of the things. And that's just one of the things I love so much about your writing and this particular piece. So thank you for that. And, I got to spend some time with you and Mark on our trip and the group of authors, and get to know you two as a couple, but also you as a soul and him as a soul. And I just have to say, what a beautiful gift that was to get to know you both. I know you walked away from that trip with some moments. Do you want to share about that a little bit?
Moments. Wow.
I know I can't, you saw me pause, right? I'm like, what do I call this moment? I don't know.
It's really kind of a spectacular thing. So first it was, there was a whole sense for all of the authors of that particular book, which is called Shaman Heart. There was a sense for all of us that we got to do this first thing with you, that this had not been done before. So I think there was a different kind of excitement and curiosity about it. And we ended up participating as the result of a dream that Mark had. Otherwise, I don't know that we would have jumped on board with the book or the trip. But there was a lot of spiritual implication for us. And we still went unsure that it was going to be a full experience, unsure that we could step into beginner's mind, unsure of, what this was going to be. And it is the really one of the best things that we've done for ourselves in a couple of years. In fact, I'll say many years. And we do a lot of traveling and we do a lot of stuff. We're very active, but being together with this group of authors, knowing that we had a mutual objective, and also knowing that we were all there working on our own stuff and supporting each other and getting to know each other and being vulnerable and raw with one another was such a magnificent experience. And not just good for each of us as individuals, but really good for our relationship as well, because it brought us back to that beginner's mind with one another. So a really, really powerful experience. I'm really glad we went.
Thank you for sharing those pieces. You said two things. I need to back my mind up a little bit. First of all, just being married to someone who had a dream, who then basically went to you and said, we need to go to Mexico because of a dream I had. Like, what? So that's pretty awesome. I'm going to give Mark awesome kudos for that. But also the beginner's mind, you mentioned it a couple of times, and it's one of the tenets in Taekwondo, is in the martial arts in general, is like when you become a black belt, then you realize what you don't know, not what you know, but what you don't know. And you go back to that beginner's mind. And I think it's something that's carried me throughout my life. I love hearing you talk about it.
I had a teacher. I have had many amazing teachers, but I had an indigenous tribal elder who said to me, the older I get, the less I know. The older you get, the less you should want to know. Because when you know something, you're locked in a box. This is what I know. This is the way it is. There isn't any flexibility around it. And when we stop knowing things and start being curious about life, all kinds of magic happens. So
I love that. The older you get, the less you should want to know. I love it. I love that way of saying that. Oh my goodness. Okay. So I want to hear more about Soulful World. Tell me the details. What's going on in your business and these healers coming into this world? Give me the details.
Yeah, sure. Happy to do that. So I launched a Soulful World after 30 years of working in the world of interfaith spirituality, working in ministry, working as a priestess, working as a healer. And so it's kind of the legacy piece for me. At this point in my life, I've spent a long time learning how to do these things and had relative success in that work. And at this point in my life, I want to support other people who are coming in and learning, in helping them find really good teachers, because that was at the beginning for me, one of the most challenging parts of my own evolving spirituality was finding teachers who had done more than read a book, who actually had done the work, who had been involved in the work for a long time, who knew what they were teaching, and who could talk to me and hear things in my voice and hear things in my presentation and hear things from my spirit that I didn't even recognize were there because of the level of experience and mastery that they had. So what we offer at A Soulful World are master teachers not only to work with new students who are looking for their first teacher, but possibly even more importantly, master teachers to work with teachers who are learning how to be better teachers, who are learning how to take what they know to the next level. And that's exciting for me. That feels, to me, feels like the gift I can give back is to point the spotlight at people like you, Laura, who are making remarkable difference in the world, and people like you who have done all this work to get where you are, who can take people who are new and mentor them and guide them and help them figure out how to get to their place of mastery. So that's really what we're up to in the world. And right now we're in a soft launch. We're in an invitation. Come into our Facebook page, take a look at what we're doing, get a feel for who we are. Go visit our website. It's at asoulfulworld.com, and soulful with 2 L's. Go check it out. take a look at what we're up to. Look at what our teachers offer. We have a membership program that allows you very inexpensively to come into the kind of full faculty offering, meaning that you pay one price for membership and everything that's on our website is available to you. So it's simple, it's inexpensive, but it's not so inexpensive that you will forget to go check it out. Because I've done those, like the $7 membership where you never go check it out because it's $7, who cares? It's a little more than a cup of coffee. This is a little more expensive than that, and for good reason, because you're getting master lessons from master teachers. You can actually reach out and touch. You can actually get to these people directly and get some personal opportunities with each of them. So I'm very excited about what we're up to.
And are you also still in conversation with new master teachers to come into the platform as well?
We are still inviting new master teachers. There's an application on the faculty page of the website if you have an interest in doing that. And we are an interfaith platform, meaning it doesn't matter if you're Christian, pagan, Jewish, Buddhist, where you come from. We're working non-dogmatically, and it's a non-creedal environment, meaning that you don't have to change anything about what you believe to gain from the different things that are offered by our teachers, and also to contribute to the community, especially in the global platform. We have right now better than 50 countries, 50 countries, not states, better than 50 countries represented in over 1,000 people. And that's pretty cool too, to be able to not just be exposed to people's beliefs here in where we're used to it, but to understand where some of these beliefs came from, and to actually talk with people who live in the culture where some of these beliefs emerged is pretty powerful.
That's phenomenal. And the way the world feels smaller, and really the gift that we all had when something I shall not name forced us all inside to the Zooms. And we just decided that wasn't going to stop us. And now these global communities have gotten together, yours being one of them. That is so exciting.
Yeah, it's very exciting. It's very exciting and fun. It's really fun. And, it's interesting to me, especially watching our Facebook page, to see how much people really interact with one another. That they, somebody posts, "Oh, I'm having a bad day," and 25 people jump in and go, "Hey, it's okay. I'm having a bad day too. Let's have it together." Here's a cool quote. Here's a great piece of music. Here's something to, to help give you a little lift when you need it. And you can count on that. And so people are showing up for each other. And when I first started, I was hoping for that, but it's been powerful to see how ready we are as a world, as a planet, to hold each other, to care for each other, to open our hearts for each other, and really support one another, no matter where we live, no matter what we do, no matter what we believe, to just be human and helpful and caring with one another. So I'm really impressed with the compassion that's been coming forward in this group.
And to collaborate between the master teachers and have it be an energy and a feeling of we're helping each other help the world. There's not a competition, not even a morsel of that. I think it's like people are finally waking up to this. I don't know. Does that feel like that to you a little bit?
Yeah, I think it's the kind of great shift that's happened in the paradigm of teachers and healers, is that we're recognizing that when we work together, the world really gets more, and that we get more, that we don't want to do this alone. We want to work with each other. We want to support each other. And we want people in the world to find what they need, which is a sense that they're connected, that they're interconnected, and a sense that this very hard time has value and purpose, and there's a big change happening in the world as a result of our moving through this challenging time.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yeah, no doubt there is. I love being in the middle of it, feeling it. It's palpable. So do you have any last words today for our listeners who might be struggling, might be one of those people who's having the bad day? What would you want to offer them today?
Yeah, I'll share your words because you posted something that I wrote to my son just before I scrolled through it, which is that rejection is protection. And I know you credited a teacher with that. I don't know where I heard that the first time, but what I believe, what I know at the core of my being and what has guided my life is the idea that the universe has my back. God, Goddess, all that is, Great Spirit, universal energy, quantum field, you call it whatever you want. But that source energy is for my good. And whatever is happening in my life is ultimately leading me to the next good thing. And that doesn't mean that it isn't hard. Sometimes the really hard things change who we are, shift us, make us stop and really consider, self-reflect, decide what needs to change. Those things can be really challenging and they're cyclical. We get through them and they move us to the next best place in our life. And if you can just hold on to the understanding that somehow the universe is working for you and not against you, it changes everything.
Yes. It's a hard practice some days, but amen to that. Yes. It's funny you said that you had seen that and, written something to your son and then seen that. I think that we are all connected like that. These ideas are up in a lot of people. And I know, in terms of Brave Healer Productions, it's about being out loud about it because that's the only way that you can know that, oh, I was thinking that too. Yeah, me too. And then all of a sudden people can come together. It's like you have permission to.
Well, yeah. And I think that's also the thing about writing, Laura. I think, we get into imposter syndrome. We're afraid that, they're going to wonder, who am I to write this? And we also have those self-doubts that there are 1,000 other people writing about this. Why should I write about it?
Right.
What could I possibly say that somebody else hasn't said? And the reality is, if it's just conceptual, if you're just looking at the concept, you're probably right. 1,000 people have written about it, but nobody has experienced it the way you have. Your personal experience is different than anyone else's. And that small nuance that comes through in how you write about what you experienced is going to connect you to someone who wouldn't connect with anybody else. So, one of the great gifts, I think, of writing is coming up against that self-doubt and moving through it anyway and writing anyway. And so it tickled me when I was so surprised by this. Like, you entered a contest and you didn't expect to win. You didn't think about winning. Well, I didn't, because I have grown from the work I've done with you. I have grown so much to love the writing practice, what that does for me, and how that even for me allows me to capture my own nuance on things that I'm experiencing. And then finding it in other places where it's similar as a gift just reinforces everything. So it really, I know that it's, it's probably a little strange to win a contest with someone and then come back and say, I won this contest because you did really good work, Laura.
I'm happy to receive that compliment.
I want you to receive it because I have been writing my whole life. I am a much better writer for the work I've done with you.
Thank you. That's awesome. Ahriana, thank you so much for what you do in the world and for being here today to share it with everyone.
My pleasure.
And for being a part of our first contest. Yay. All right, you guys.
I get to be history.
Yes.
That is the first winner. That's awesome.
Brave Healer history. Okay, so speaking of Brave Healer, if you happen to be a healer and it's time to share your brave words with the world, you're going to find the details for the next Brave Healer Badass Writers Contest on laurafranco.com/badass-writers-contest. It's down below for you. And meanwhile, everyone, just remember something actually that Ahriana put so beautifully. Your words change the world when you're brave enough to share them. Someone is waiting for your message in exactly the way only you can share it. So it's time to be brave. See you next time, everyone. Thank you.